Welcome back to Homeworks Garage, guys, and to another little maintenance video on the Suzuki Swift. But in this one, we're going to be kind of crossing over into not just basic maintenance, we're going to be upgrading something, and specifically air filters. Now, there's two air filters on this car. You've got the engine air filter, and then you've also got a cabin air filter. Now, the cabin air filter won't be getting upgraded today, it will be getting replaced. One reason for that being is this car, I haven't owned it very long and it's still got a bit of a funny smell inside, even though I've Febrezed the seats quite a bit. So I think it'd be worthwhile changing the cabin air filter. Now, second to that is the engine air filter. Now, the engine air filter is going to be getting replaced today, but with an upgraded ram air induction kit. Well, we're going to start off with the engine side. So this is all the airbox, and the filter itself lives in here. Obviously, we're going to be taking all this off to replace it with an induction kit. But if you are wanting to just change the filter like for like, the filter is in here, and you'll obviously see where it is. So you can kind of use this as a guide for changing the standard air filter if you want. So first thing we need to do is strip all of this off here. So before we get started, I just thought I'll show you what we've actually got. So we've got a ram air induction kit, and this is the cabin air filter, which is just a fairly probably basic blueprint one. Which, where did this come from? Opie Isles is where this came from. So we'll put that one side for now, because I'm going to do the fun bit first. So this is the ram air induction kit. Now basically what have we got? We've got that bit, which is the actual filter itself. We've got some pipe work. We've got a few Jubilee clips and some nuts and bolts. And what else? Little connecting pipe and some instructions. So we'll have a look through the instructions first, but obviously well aware that the airbox needs to come completely off. And yep, that's exactly what the instructions are saying. Yep, remove that. Right, we'll crack on and get the airbox pulled off. So basically, to remove the airbox, we need this bolt, which actually mounts the cover that goes over the top of here, and this one here, which again is part of what kind of holds the cover over the top. And I don't know how well you can see it, but just underneath that wire there's a bolt there. So you take them three bolts out. We need to take this Jubilee clip off here, this electrical connector onto the intake there, and then obviously this bit of pipe work here. So that all needs to come off. Right, so fairly basic tools needed for this. So a lot of it is pretty much 10mm socket is going to suffice, but I'll tell you what we'll do. So 10mm deep socket, something like that, to get on these two bits, and an 8mm Jubilee clip or a screwdriver, or just another 8mm socket. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with this. No, that's 10mm. That bit's 10mm, because I think I can just leave that attached to there, to be honest. So that's that bit off there. Don't know if we need any more of these screws, but that's that bit off. So we'll tack that one. Here. Right, I'll take the Jubilee clip off down here, which is basically the rubber pipe that goes on the actual throttle body. So that right off. And what's this plug connector going to be like to come off? Is it a push down and pull? Right, so I think if I push that in and just give that a little pry, it should come off. There you go. Right. And then that is the whole airbox off. So to get the filter out, which I do want to have a look at it, so you've got a clip there and a clip here. So if we pop them off and separate that bit from there, that is the airbox bit, and this is the scabby filter, which I've already had a look at this. So that's what's left of the standard filter, which isn't a standard one, it is an aftermarket one. I think it's probably pipe across, but it is in need of replacement, we'll say. Right, so that can go in the bin. Don't need that anymore. Well, I don't need most of this, but I do think I need this, which will be some sort of airflow meter, probably. Need that out, which I think because that goes into my new pipe work. But we'll go and have a look at the instructions and see what we need to do. Yeah, so we do need to remove this sensor out of the top of the part of the airbox here, and then that goes into this new piece here. So it's just 2 screws that hold it in there, and actually, which just needs a posi drive screwdriver, but then the new one has got 2 little Allen-headed bolts to secure it into the new pipe. Now, I don't think you can get this wrong looking at the design of where the bolt holes are. Yeah, can only go one way, which is that way. Ugh, that O-ring's not the best on there, is it? I'll have a look and see if I've got something that's going to fit in there. If not, we'll just have to make do. Oh, I might be in luck. I've found this one, which is a bit thinner than the one that's come off, but to be honest, I'm not convinced that this is the right one. Just when you look at kind of the indentations on it, I really don't think that is the right one. And I mean, it's completely knackered anyway. I mean, look, it's don't know if that's focusing or not, but yeah, it's all splitting. So we'll put this one on. Give it a little bit of silicone spray on it. Maybe slightly unnecessary, but don't want to go too wild with these because they're only 2.5 mil Allen keys, so just give them a little nip, and that is that installed. And it turns out we also need this pipe off the old airbox as well, so I'll whip that off now. Now, what does everybody think? Is this induction kit going to actually give any performance gains, other than making me feel like it's back in the early 2000s in the max power era? But yeah, I mean, it should allow the engine to breathe a little bit better than the standard filter. So comment down below if you think putting induction kits on cars is a worthwhile exercise. But anyhow, we'll crack on. We've got the elbow here that we took off the airbox, so that just pushes back onto the throttle body. Slightly different orientation. It was pointing that way before. Now we want it pointing this way according to the instructions. But we'll leave the Jubilee clip off there, like not tight, until we've got it all aligned up. Now, the bit where we've put the airflow sensor in basically pushes into there, like so, and then lines up, the bracket on it lines up with one of the mounting points of the original airbox. Now, you do get a new bolt for it, which we'll just screw that into there. All fairly straightforward stuff. Now, we will bolt that down because that's kind of going to help decide where everything needs to be. Just make sure everything's where it needs to be. But yeah, I'll nip that up then. So that's on there. And the last little bit, I suppose, well, seeing the last little bit, we need to plug this back in. Now that, I just don't want it. So plug it in, and then I think we'll probably cable tie, because you do get a cable tie, but I'll not cable tie until I've got all the Jubilee clips tight and everything in situ. And the really fun part, so where's where I put them 2 Jubilee clips, just stick them over there for now so we can get a look at how this is gonna sit. Push that on like that. as far on as that can go. And that's on enough. We're clear. We'll get our logo pointing the right way. Most important bit. That looks all right there. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. Tighten these two Jubilee clips up first, which I should use a screwdriver for these ones. Because they're 7mm, I think. My little Jubilee screwdriver has got an 8mm socket on the end of it. So I could go and get a 7mm socket, I suppose, but if I'm holding this sort of thing on, I don't need to be silly tight by any means. Everything tight, so the only thing I need to do now is decide on what we're doing with this bit of harness. I think just cable tie around there just to secure it, and then yeah, I'll go and grab the cable tie, and just so that's, yeah, happy with that. Just give you a little close-up of what it looks like. Moment of truth. Let's start it up and see what it sounds like, because that, to be fair, is probably one of the bigger reasons to put one of these on. It's just it should sound better. Well, it's definitely given max power vibes all over again, I think. But that wraps up that bit anyway. Well, that is the induction kit all fitted up. So now we move on to the carb air filter. Now, I believe it is behind the glove box, so we'll need to get the glove box pulled out first. Right, so I believe it's in behind here, so I think we need to get this. Does this just kind of, you just pull them past? Right, oh, nearly. Yeah, just pop them past, and then, right, that just clips off there. Let's put that down there out the way. Right, what have we got in here? Blower motor in there. Right, well, that bit in the middle looks fairly suspect that it comes out, because it's, yeah, there's the bit I'll be kind of quite safe with. There must be another one of them on that side. Right, just remember the way that goes in. Put it down that way. Airflow goes up. Right. Oh, lovely. Nice leave there. Airflow is that way. Yeah, I suppose that would be the in. I think that. Is that in the right way around? Because that was the way it came out. I mean, you can see obviously bits of leaves in it, but you can see how minging that is actually. God, yeah, that is minging. But the fact there's leaves and stuff on that, that must be the intake, which that to me, if that is the case, that's in the wrong way around, because the airflow arrow is pointing that way. Tell you what we'll do. I'll switch it on and we'll see which way it feels like it's blowing. Yeah, it's pulling down. You should be able to see that on the camera. But yeah, that's pulling down. So the airflow should be down the way, not up the way. Oh well, there's something to look out for anyway. So just a quick comparison of the old one. So you can see how manky that is, and then obviously a nice new one. So that is well overdue being replaced. Now hopefully that might help with some of the guffing smells in the inside of the car. Right, we'll get the new one fired in. Right, so we'll just, to be fairly straightforward this, but we'll put it in the right way around this time. So airflow is that way. I mean, I'll be honest, it's exactly the same as the one that's come out, but it's not the best, unless this, well, this has got little prongs on the bottom that must slide underneath and kind of hold it, push it into place. But yeah, there you go. So simple as that. That is that changed. And then the glove box should just clip back in. See the silly cables for the aftermarket head unit, but never mind. And then it's just a case of pushing that back in like that. Junk back in your glove box. Job's a good one. Well, that's another couple of little jobs ticked off on the Suzuki Swift. Now, and also ticks off the first real upgrade on the car as we continue on this little journey to a budget track car. Now, let us know in the comments down below if you think this induction kit is going to need a dedicated cold air feed, because at the minute, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see if we do suffer from any heat soak from it. Now, a little petrol engine like this, chances are we won't, but I would be interested to know if anybody thinks I should put a cold air feed to it. If you're interested in following along on the little Suzuki Swift's journey to a track car, please subscribe to the channel because there's more videos coming, and there's also a few already on the channel which will be linked on the screen about now. If you've liked this one, please give it a like, and thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.